Okay, so we got the record button pushed. Welcome to today's next level session. As always, the replays of these can be found at insiderealestate.com/webinars. And they're also in the next level members area as well, which I've been making some updates to for those of you who are members. Just a little bit of a transition here, but we're making the navigation a little easier here where you can access the different stuff directly from the main page. Thinkific, the provider we use for this, is kind of offered us more options. So I'm in the midst of kind of fixing all that up. The webinars themselves are all findable in the webinars section right here, and that is up to date right here. So you can go through the archives, years and years here of stuff all the way back to 2020. All the stuff we did in 2020 is in here as well. And then as always with Next Level, just remind everybody that our templates, our specific tutorials, and everything else will be found in here. And I've been a little busy internally with the company, but now have more time for the next level content. So watch out. We're going to have more standalone tutorials about specific traffic sources like Google, Facebook, Twitter, the different ad networks, and more swipes and templates to come soon. So that little bit of housekeeping out of the way. I didn't have anything super specific today, so I was hoping that you guys would help me out. Let me know where you want to go in KV Core, what you might want to talk about today, or if you have any existing things you're working on or questions. Usually I do come with something specific, but didn't have a topic coming out of the weekend in a busy morning here. So let's just do a Q&A and see who we can help live. In the meantime, I'll try to kill time by just kind of dancing around in KV Core while I wait for somebody to chat in. And we'll do that. Susan, I see you raising your hand. Just go ahead and chat in the box and let me know if there's anything you want to have, you have questions about in the system. So Rich is asking in the area page, in the area page video last week, you showed where you added a tag on your front page of the website. I think you made it clickable. Could you show how to do that? How do you add the business tagline? Yes, show you that right now. So get into my account. And what Rich is referring to is the little section right under the top of our websites. So I'm waiting for it to load here. And if you scroll down, there's a little kind of just message right here. This is not clickable, Rich. So what I did with this was I just used a text call to action, text home value to this number, and then made my call to action. So text home value to this number, see what a buyer might pay for your house today. Super sizzling, hot market. Now, I don't even remember if I've ever gotten leads from this. I've gotten this text a few times, but I don't know if it came from here because I use that other places. I wouldn't expect a ton of traffic from it, but the way to do that is to go to Web and IDX, KV Core, and then we go to our edit website settings right here. And then we scroll down to tagline. Now, you can keep scrolling and scrolling looking for tagline, but I'll just share my favorite hack for this sort of thing with you guys because it's easy to miss, is to just do Control F in your browser. And you see this kind of thing, search box come up. If I type tagline, there it is. It's under the agent section. You could put that in right there. So now that I know it's in the agent section, I'll make this easier for you. I think you can click on the left, right where it says agents, and it'll jump you right to this section right there. So that's where you put that in. And of course, to do this, what I did was I built a text code under the lead engine. I went to call in text capture, and I built my home value report text code with an auto reply. And this is my favorite auto reply for this one. It's just, hey, thanks for requesting the thing that it was, and then ask them the address because that's what I need in order to do the home value report. So I'm actually been meaning to try this call action in an actual ad, in the ad copy in a Facebook ad. I haven't done that in a long time. I did it for foreclosures probably almost 4 or 5 years ago now, and it worked pretty well, doing a text code in the ad copy and on an image in an ad. So I might get to that. If not today, maybe we'll do that on the session tomorrow. We'll show that, start playing with that. Just going to kind of go down your questions here. So thank you, Rich, for that one. Is there a way to add Calendly? Not really, like as a feature. I think it would be pretty cool if it was just a setting where you put your Calendly link in and it showed up different places around the site. I agree, Emily, that would be really cool. But the practical way to kind of integrate Calendly into everything you're doing and kind of the quick, easy button there would be one, to go to your profile and edit your main signature right here, which goes out with everything. So this way, every email that goes out would have your Calendly link at the bottom, right? So right here, I've done so many examples that I've got this thing littered with links. But you can do click here to schedule a quick one-on-one Zoom chat. So knowing that this is in your signature, you can kind of say, you can kind of reference it, right? So just do calendly.com, whatever your Calendly link is, /link. And in your emails, as you're sending an email from there, you say, hey, don't forget, if you want to book with me, my link is down below. You can always do that and it'll be everywhere. Another thing you can do with Calendly, and I think we did show this on a webinar once, and just bear with me because I haven't logged into Calendly in a minute. I'm using something else, but I know Calendly has these embeddable links. So it's going to take me a second, but I know that you can put the script that Calendly gives you into the footer of your KV Core, and it can show like a little browser bar. So we did a whole session, but it's going to probably be easier for me to find this now. Add to your website. Aha. So if you click share your link up here under account, you click share your link. And then this add to your website, you get these three options. So if you wanted to put it in line in a custom page or a blog post, you can do that. And you can do this pop-up text, launch Calendly as a pop-up, and you can have this floating widget. So let's try this pop-up text just for an example. Schedule a one-on-one chat with Brian about your real estate needs. Now try that, and then you can customize the color, but this line of code right here, I can then take into the website settings in KV Core, click edit settings, and then go down to the footer code section right here. Put that in. Let's see how that looks. So I want to save that. I'm going to go to a new private window, just so it doesn't cache with it not being there. I'm hoping this worked. Hey, it looks like maybe it didn't. Or maybe I didn't understand what Calendly was going to do. Here's my messenger bot. I'm going to come back to this in a minute, but to answer the question, Emily, you can put those embeds in here, and I have gotten it to work in a minute. Sometimes saving stuff like this does take a minute to cache. So I'm going to leave that. And you know what? I'm going to do the other embed code too, because I'm not sure this pop-up text. I'm actually not sure what that is supposed to do. So let's try this. I'm going to put the booking, this other one in too, just to see if I can get one of them to pop up. And then we'll check back in a minute here if it doesn't load right away. Aha. So the schedule a time with me down at the bottom did show up. And if I click that, it kind of does the Zoom chat right here, that Calendly widget. I'm not sure what that other one was, but I would say that, yeah, guys, you probably want to have some way, either it's the Calendly or your Facebook Messenger bot, some form of a direct way that people can book it with you right away. And you can embed that snippet from Calendly or from other calendaring softwares right into the custom footer. So great thought. I'm going to scroll down and see if they work. Lots of questions, guys. So I'll try to get to everybody here. And thank you for all the questions. I'm not twiddling my thumbs trying to kill time. All right. So next question came from Rose. She's asking, how can we connect a different website to KV Core? So that if you have kind of a standalone branded website, maybe drop me the link, Rose. Depends on the platform, but there's a few ways. One, you can just link to your KV Core searches. So you can link to any of your squeeze links. You can make yourself a banner ad, right? Put that in the side and just link out. to different things that are on your KV Core site. Some tools that'll make that easier are the embeds, right? Our breakfast embeds. And those can be found if we click on Web and IDX, and you can actually right in the side here, they'll actually be right in the navigation. If I go to website embeds, you can embed the property search in a sidebar of your site, for example, like this. You can embed a kind of horizontal version of the search like this, and then the seller valuation tool, this get value, you can also put to your website. So I hope that kind of answers the question. I'm going to click on Rose's link now. Thanks, Rose. And try to give this some context. So you've got a site here through another provider, right? And you can see here this, what's your home worth right here. So you could link this to KV Core, right? Instead of this tool. Or you could put the widgets in various places around the site. So say in your blog, you know, maybe you have a blog post and you could link and say, hey, search all listings now. Or if there's a sidebar, I'm not seeing a sidebar, but yeah, that's kind of how you would go about that. Okay. Going back up, lots of questions. I'll get to everybody. So the next question is, can you talk about how a smart number works? Why would it come across as spam if you directly dial from KV Core? Now, different carriers are going to have different kind of takes on that spam thing there. Susan, if your specific number maybe has been marked as spam by the carrier, maybe because you're using the same number as lots of other agents in your office and it's somehow been marked, there's not a lot we can do to control that. I would kind of open a support ticket, just have them look. If it's your own smart number, that might be one way to fix that, is to get your own smart number so you're not kind of penalized if people have been spam texting or spam calling using the same number. You know, if you're using kind of an office smart number and there are a lot of agents. But yeah, there's not, I don't know why specifically that's happening for you. It might be a good thing to ask support about. Maybe they can look into the number. And definitely by getting your own smart number, if you don't have one already, that kind of helps, you know it's kind of clean, and that you're the only one using it. And if you do stuff that causes it to be marked as spam, then at least you know it was your fault. You're not at the mercy of other people. Okay. And just so everybody knows, you know, the way those smart numbers work is if somebody calls into those, the lead will be routed to, as long as the number that's being called in from, it'll be routed to the right person who owns the lead. But if somebody calls in from a number that's not already in KV Core, it round robins to everybody in the office. So that's another good reason. If you're going to be marketing the number, you probably want to get your own version of it. So getting to Nicholas's question here. So good question. Nick watched a video about us setting up the Google Ads. And he's asking if you need to set up a Zap to convert the leads you get from the ad into KV Core. And you actually don't, because when you're running Google Ads, the way that the flow works is that your click will either be sent to a landing page. So let me show you. There's a new construction landing page that we've been using for a while. I thought I had it on my list here. I must not have it in my saved here, but let's just show an example landing page. So I might run a Google ad that drives people to this starter homes page like this. And as soon as somebody puts their email and phone in this landing page, they're logged in automatically into KV Core, and you don't need a Zap to push the data in, because this is a KV Core property and we've coded that all up so the leads just go straight in. It works the same way for a squeeze link. So if you come to the site and then you're prompted to register, so you're running your Google ad and you're driving, say, to a list of new construction properties or starter homes, eventually it'll prompt the registration. And then it kind of works the same way as the landing page. The data will go in. So you don't need Zapier. The only time you would need Zapier is for Google's lead forms extension, which puts a little extra link at the bottom of your ad. But in my testing, hasn't worked that great. You're only going to get a small percentage of people to do it. And it was kind of more hassle than it was worth the few times I've tested it. But Google does have kind of a form thing. It doesn't require every lead that clicks on the form extension it's only the leads that click on the form extension, I should say, that are required, that enter their info and you would zap in. But most of the clicks will still go to the main Google ad. If that's making sense. So you don't need the zap unless you're getting really geeky with the those forms. And I don't think it's really worth the effort for a lot of people, unless you're pretty advanced and you want to really play with that and get it working. So Wendy's asking, what is the best way to engage your database? She has them on search and campaigns. But when the campaign texts or emails, people check out, many opt out. So if they're opting out on your smart campaigns, I would definitely change the language. In theory, your smart campaign shouldn't cause too many unsubscribes. It should cause a healthy amount of unsubscribes, just people who just aren't remotely interested. But if you're sending good content out to people via smart campaigns, or your original question was, how do I engage? Or if you're doing what I recommend, and that is sending something cool every week, maybe via a scheduled mass email. If the content is really good, you shouldn't get that many unsubscribes. So what is good content? Let's just kind of, we do this exercise every now and then here. I'm going to go and open up a new doc. I'm just going to rattle a few things off. Cool stuff to send to engage leads. These can be sent via smart campaigns, or I more prefer or one-off scheduled mass emails. And that's actually the way for all the businesses that I'm involved in. I prefer the one-off scheduled mass email because it forces me to create unique stuff every week. So it becomes kind of habit. But I might send a property of the day, property list of the day, right? A property list of the day would be a KV Core squeeze link, right? Where you kind of say, hey, well, here's a list of all the income properties priced under $250,000 with multiple units. That's my property list of the day. And you email them a squeeze link. Property of the day, right? With video, if possible. Home buying tip, investor tip, selling tip. So you can rattle off a quick email. Hey, I was working with a buyer the other day. Just a quick tip. You don't always necessarily want to come in under asking price because it might be a multiple offer situation, something like that. You just tell a story about an experience or something that you ended up, a tip you gave a real customer, and just share that with all your list. And these things come up every day in the course of your business. And just think back to yesterday or this morning about the conversations you had with people, and you could probably share that same information with your wider KV Core audience. Featured business, a book I like, a book video recommendation. All right, interview a neighbor. So you can do a profile of a local neighbor. But most of this sending stuff, something cool, should revolve around whatever your niche focus is. So if you are focused on new construction, then your something cool really becomes really simple. You just do new construction listing of the week, right? Or builder project of the week, and you profile it in an email, perhaps with a video. That kind of content is going to get you a lot more engagement than coming into KV Core and grabbing the default smart campaigns, right? Which is kind of the stuff that everybody else is sending. We're approaching probably a few 100,000 people using KV Core right now. And most people come in and they just say, oh, I'll use the default and that's good enough. But the people who have the most success, they turn on the defaults on day one because they don't have time to go messing with it. But then they circle back around and they try to make stuff that's a little more unique. So just an example here of a smart campaign that I built. It's got some of the stuff that I mentioned there. It goes a year. And I believe it's in the system. You can clone this in from the KV Core library. It's called the Buyer Nurture 1 Year. Right. And I did stuff like put the, hey, someone shared this clip from the Money Pit with me the other day. So it links out to that funny Tom Hanks clip where he's laughing. Cracks me up every time, especially Walter's laugh when the tub falls through the floor. If you've been thinking that you might want to buy and fix up a Money Pit of your own, let me know and I'll send over a list of current fixers. So stuff like that, right? Where it's storytelling, it's real estate related, and then you tie it into a call to action related to them reaching out to you so they can get some specific information. is a good way. So this particular campaign, I believe, is in the KV Core library. There's also a share token for it. If you guys want to pull that in, I'll just share it in the chat to everybody, but I'm pretty sure it's in the library right there. So kind of a long answer to that. I hope that was useful though, guys. It's one of my favorite topics, and in the next level members area, you know, one of the phases in building our growth systems is this idea of sending something cool every week out. And I really believe that's the difference. If you're doing everything else that KV Core does automated, like automated property alerts, you know, you have a smart campaign running. The thing you can do to really build relationships and build top of mind status and get more business is that thing where you send something unique every week, at least once a week. And the people who are really good at it, like my buddy Josh Shanley, who we've had on, I mean, he probably does something like that every day, right? I've gotten in the habit over the years that almost every day I'm sending something out to you guys or to one of my other ventures. You just become a content marketer, and it becomes a lot of fun too. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going with the questions. I created an area page for a zip, but didn't see it on the home page. What'd you do wrong? Let's see. So this is in reference, if anybody missed it last week, Heather and I did a session about area pages. So look back in the archives at insiderealestate.com/webinars, and we talked about that. And the way that you kind of get those area pages pulled in is you go to the Web and IDX section. I believe you go to site content, and then you go to service areas and SEO. And I thought that anything you put here was supposed to show on the home page. And you're saying it didn't, right? So I want to test. It could be there's something that I don't know that you need to do, but let's just do Tampa. Oops, add. I think I put it in the wrong. Yeah, there we go. Put it in the wrong box. And save. Okay, and then you're supposed to be able to see on the home page of your site those links. So if you're not seeing it, try it again. Yeah, it worked for me. So the Tampa wasn't there before. Now it's there. Possibly you maybe went over a limit. That's what I would check, Patricia. Maybe you have too many, and there's like it limits it and only shows like the first 20 or 30. If you do have a lot, that could be it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to refer you to support. But it seems like that's the way to do it. So Rich Desson, can a landing page format be used as an email? Well, I would just, to integrate a landing page into an email, the way you might approach that is to, let's do our recruiting one here for new agents. So you could just link out to it from an email. Like, hey, have you thought about, if you know anybody who's thought about being a real estate agent, I've created a quick guide or created a webinar about the process. Feel free to share this link with them. So that would be something you could send out to everybody. You can even put that in a drip campaign, right? Hey, just curious, if you've ever thought about it, a lot of people have, right? And then you could just link to the page. The other way you could do it is take a screen grab of the landing page. So kind of grab it, and then let's go send. Schedule a mass email like this. Schedule email. And I could use the advanced editor here. I could use the regular editor, just upload. Upload that saved image like this. So you can put a picture of the landing page. But if you do that, whoa, that's so big. I might have to resize that. Oh, that's going to look good in their email client here. Like that, right? And then I would need to link this to the actual page. All right, so I get the page and I link it. I hope that answers your question, Rich. So, and then you could just say, if you know anybody, blah, 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 and tell them to visit the page down below to get the free report or something. But you definitely need to make sure you link, if you're going to use the image in the email, you got to link it to the page. For my money, it's just as easy and efficient to just link the actual text and tell them to go over there. Veronica has Calendly on her website. I think it's a great idea, Calendly. Just if you can get people on Zooms with you one-on-one, how much time does that save? You don't have to go meet them for coffee. You don't have to meet them at the house. You know, anybody you're going to meet to show a property the first time. We all know it's probably best practice to get buyer agency agreements signed. But if you're not into buyer agency agreements, well, you can at least just require them to get on a Zoom with you for 5 minutes, so you're not meeting some creep, right, or somebody really weird, and just get them on camera. But Calendly is a really great, efficient way to do that, because you just send them your Calendly link. You can tie that up to Zoom and be talking to them one-on-one via Zoom. So, yeah. Can I change the line on the website? So Chris is asking a question. So I'm going to go try to find this. So Chris wants to send a line that says EXP in Southwest Iowa. I need to look at where that particular thing is. This is, I think, your site title. Possibly. So I'm going to look at mine, try to help you find that. So I don't have one. So it might be, and sometimes some of these things are company specific, but let's just see if there's a setting in the Web and IDX. That's where I would look. I would look in Web and IDX and go to edit settings right here. And maybe it's like the site title or something like that. Website title. So that is the actual browser title up top. The website title, this is what Google sees, where I'm hovering in my browser up the top there. You can see it kind of shows. And that's kind of for SEO, your website title. Homepage meta description, that should be similar. That'll just show in the search engines. Chris, I'm sorry, but that may be something you need to talk to EXP about. But I definitely see where you're going there. I mean, if you're in multiple states and you don't want that. And there may be a way to kind of hide it. I'm just not familiar. So either EXP support or our support. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just looking to see if there's any other areas. Yeah. Sorry about that. Anthony's asking, how can I get a lead to sign up for the search alert instead of me signing them up? Where would you send them to sign up for a search alert? So if you send them directly to up at the top when you're logged in. So this shows all the alerts. That's not it actually. Oh, somebody asked last week about the phone number being on the site, just on the side. It doesn't show on the home page, but it shows on all the other pages. I learned that later. You can see the phone number, but to where they can go to set up the alerts, I think if they click their name top here. Yes. So send them to this page. I'm going to drop the link, Anthony, to everybody. That URL will actually let people configure their own searches, which is kind of a weird URL. It should be like configure, not login. It also will require them to log in if they're not logged in already. So if I go here and I'm not logged in, I accidentally opened a Tor window, which is a lot slower. Yeah, so you can send them straight to the registration, but then tell them after they register. Just see that they might need to click their name up at the top. It's not ideal. It's definitely not. Yeah, I thought that would have logged me in, probably because I'm on the tour. That's the best I got. The other way, Craig, just ask them what alerts they want, set them up for them. I mean, that's not the best. The other way to automatically set alerts is using the hashtag alerts option. So if you go to all marketing and you go to search alerts, you can say, hey, any lead that comes from this hashtag or this source, automatically set them up for this alert. That probably doesn't answer your question. I think you're more worried about them being able to self-serve and change them. I'll put in a request. I really think it would make a lot of sense. And I don't know if we do it in our alert emails, but we should be telling people where to go to change those. And it would be that login link. So I'll try to mention that. Great questions, guys. So, okay. Kelly's asking good examples of webhooks and smart campaigns I want to use, but not finding a good reason why. The best, here's a few reasons. So we're going to go to a smart campaign. So the webhooks feature, oops, I got to open up a smart campaign. If you click add action, the webhook, we built the webhook feature before Zapier. So for a while, the only way you could get KV Core to talk to other systems was by sending a webhook, and usually you would just send it through Zapier's webhook function, and then you would send it on to another one. When we built the Zapier option, that kind of eliminated the need for a lot of webhooks. So, you know, I would say most things that you need to integrate KV Core with, you could use Zapier. So thanks.io. I helped a guy build a Zap the other day that sent a notification to his internal team Slack whenever a seller lead came in. That's kind of an example. So a lot of Zapier stuff. Webhooks themselves, probably unless you're trying to talk to a system directly that has an API and they're not hooked up to Zapier. So if it's a third-party system and they don't have a Zapier tie-in, but they have an API, you would use a webhook. That's the answer, Kelly. Mostly don't worry about it. Use Zapier. All right. Patricia's asking if I find that particular areas work well in any area. Yes, the stuff that works in pretty much any area, in my experience. So add offers that work pretty much anywhere. All right. So starter homes, fixers, and foreclosures. You're usually, you know, you might not have a lot of foreclosures now, but saying the word foreclosure helps. You always have fixer-uppers in your market. Homes or properties, could be homes or properties with X plus acres. This always works for me. It's so cool. So if you're in a market and like anything over 5 acres is kind of cool and unique, you know, everybody wants more land, or maybe you're just in an area where anything over 1 acre is, doing an ad like this that offers that threshold always works. Cash flowing, or what we say, multi-unit income properties with potential for cash flow. That's a really good one. Of course, we all know that any multi-unit income property has potential for cash flow. So you're just giving them a link of multi-unit income properties. But again, that term cash flow is kind of exciting. So these are like off the top of my head, these are my favorites. New construction. Offering an open house list works. Definitely, you know, just that's kind of evergreen in any market. And price reductions. So that's a good handful that if you run the right Facebook ad or Google ad to these offers, it should convert fine. And, you know, I've talked a little bit about how that's kind of the easy part. Is getting somebody to opt in for a niche focused property list. It's easy to generate leads that way. You know, the hard part is the conversion, and that's sending something cool every week. This stuff up here. So Rose is asking any idea that we can send to all. Okay, like an evergreen campaign. I think that if you want kind of an evergreen thing that you can send to your entire database, I actually think that sending a property of the day is the simplest thing, a listing of the day. Because remember, if somebody already bought from you and they're a past client, they still have friends and relatives in the market. And if you can make that property of the day interesting, they're going to pass it to their friends. They're going to remember you exist. So if you can just, you know, I used to do Propertunity knocks. Like I did this email every Saturday. It was like 2008, 2009. Every Saturday morning. It was just my investment deal of the week. But instead of just sending some text about it, I literally went to a property and I took a video of a beat up REO. You know, REOs were very big then. I just took a video of an REO and had more interaction with my leads than I wanted. You know, it was just too much. But if you can just pick something like that, feature a specific type of property or just any property in your market, but pay attention to doing the content in a little bit more of a deeper way instead of just sending a flyer. Try to like talk about the property on video, or just, it could be a text email, but talk about why it's a good buy. What's cool about it. Is the kitchen awesome? Who's it great for? This is the perfect house for a family just getting started, stuff like that. But that's definitely something you can send to everybody. The link to this quick list I will drop to everybody right now. Just share it. Patricia asked, so copy the link. Anyone with link, copy. So that's just me rattling off those ideas. I believe we have content around this in the next level members area in the growth system section, where we kind of walk through this stuff to send every week. Okay, great questions, guys. Maybe I don't need to prepare. I stress out about having unique content every day, but you guys are you just do this. I don't have to prepare at all, like today. All right, let's see. Oh, Patricia's saying it was a zip, not a city for the areas. I bet that's it. I bet it doesn't show the zips. I didn't read that closely enough, but that's probably why. Susan's asking, if you do use a default smart campaign, does the system differentiate between buyers and sellers? Yeah, we have different default campaigns for buyers and sellers, but you can go into the settings for the campaign under campaign settings and just make sure that it's set up accordingly. So kind of what you see right here, campaign designed for. So yeah, we have different defaults for the different types. Cool, getting toward the bottom. All right. So Wendy's asking how to fix when you do a squeeze page to show the properties on the right side, but sometimes the map comes out very zoomed out. I'm not sure how to fix that. I don't, yeah. You could change the default property type that goes out. I don't think we have that in the squeeze settings right now, but you can change it globally. And I personally, I don't like the map. I feel like it's kind of hard to deal with, but I know some people do, but I set mine to list or grid. I think I keep mine on grid list. And you can do that from website settings. Pick the wrong thing to search. Default sort and default display. So I sort mine from price highest to lowest, and I set mine to list automatically. And I believe that will make your squeeze links automatically be the list. So the way the map appears doesn't come into play. Craig, when you have somebody text your name to the smart number, the automated response comes from another agent. That would be a support question. I don't think they're case sensitive, but maybe that's it. They're just texting Craig, right? Let's hope that there's not another Craig in your office and that's causing, but that sounds like a bug to me. That's not how it should work. So yeah, definitely ask support. Yep, Josh is asking about the webinar replay. InsideRealEstate.com/webinars. I'll get it uploaded in about an hour. Forgot to stream today, so it'll be right here, this particular webinar, as well as all of our other ones for the past years and months. Kelly's asking, can you add a market report in the smart campaign? I think you'd have to link out to it. So you'd have to create it and then link directly to it. So let's see, if I go to build squeeze page and then I go to the market report option, you might want to just create it here. And then link to it. Source, your source could be smart campaign. Now, if they're not already logged in to KV Core, and a lot of people already are because they're getting your alerts every day. If they're not already logged in, it might require them to register, but that's not the biggest deal. Most people, their browsers are probably signed in because they click on the alerts every day. So that would be how I would do that. Or use the area pages and send those in your smart campaign. So you just do an email and you say, hey, here's here's a current look at the market, what's going on in the market in Gulfport, and you just send them to that link in your in your smart campaign. And again, it's always going to be up to date with the latest stuff. These area pages we talked about, but it's not like it's not a kind of merge field that you can do quickly. You just gotta kind of create the link and then do it. Wendy's asking, when you make a squeeze page, how do you fix the map? So that was that question we had a minute ago. I don't know, but that definitely it shouldn't function like that, Wendy. So it shouldn't just go to Brazil. And I haven't seen that before. It seems, one thing I wonder is if somehow there's a listing down there. No, there's not a manual listing down there. That's definitely a support issue. They should be able to fix that. Right over the bridge for me. 5 miles away. Yeah, thanks for asking support, Craig. I'm not sure, Wendy. Sorry about that. Yeah, I like to just send them straight to the list. But I can, the map is cool too. I'm not trying to badmouth the map. You know, the reason most people are going to open it on they're going to open it on mobile anyway, so it's going to do this. It's going to look like that when most people get it. And then I think maybe the map's at the bottom. Not sure. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think we got to the end, and my voice is getting a little scratchy. That's my my cue. If there are no more questions, I hope you guys found some value in this. I mean, I think it's fun. You know, for things that I'm a member of and things that I follow, I like to hop onto these kind of member Q&A sessions because you always get a perspective. You know, you get to see what other people are worried about and what they're up to. So I know it's kind of rapid fire. And I jump all over the place, but I hope you find some value and just pick up some tips around KV Core. I will remind everybody that we do have our quick start sessions that happen Mondays through Thursdays. So those happen if you go to the main dashboard and you click on the calendar. That's the more structured, you know, 4 sessions day after day that kind of repeats every week with our training team. They do a really good job. And you know, they give you the basics. So Agent Quick Start, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. If you're a team admin and you want the basics in Q&A, that's at 1 p.m. there. And you can see the full calendar there. So guys, we'll be back again tomorrow at 2 p.m. I'll probably have something a little more structured. I think I'm going to test out running one of those text code-based ads to try to get listings. Maybe we'll play with that tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for being here, and we'll see you same time tomorrow. Have a good one.